Meghan Markle. Hi, this is Gary Edward Gedall, psychologist, psychotherapist, looking at who is Meghan Markle. Tonight, we're going to have a look at the second chapter. But we're going to continue the second chapter, which deals with Meghan's relationship with her parents. For those of you who have watched the last segment, you will be aware that I've chosen to begin this reflection by sharing with you a real case study of one of my patients. Of course, many personal and secondary details have been changed to protect her identity, but I promise you the basis and many of the important psychological and historical details are totally true. For those who missed last week or have forgotten, I've put together a short recap.
I cannot sleep unless I am breathing in the smell, the odor of my teddy bear. Sometimes I turn over and I can't sleep. I wake up and I need to smell her again. I've tried sleeping pills, hypnosis, acupuncture, many things. Because I cannot sleep without him, I cannot have a relationship. Even with my boyfriend, with his smell, it isn't enough. When I was very young, I used to take the teddy bear to bed. I didn't spend much time with my mother. I spent more time with my father. My mother wasn't really very available. She worked mornings, weekends. She would pick me up, let me watch television, then go to bed because she was tired. After a while, my parents split up. I had to go and live with my father. My father was very strict, very tough on me about my homework. Every weekend he took me riding, but he would just stand and watch, smoking his pipe. When my mother came, we would buy toys, have ice creams, do things Dad didn't like. Once she took me to Disney World, and when we were there, I think, oh, the police came in Disney. Once she took me to Disney World.
Without your father?
Sure, she came, and it was a holiday day, and I was on holiday, and she said, "Come on, let's go to Disney."
In Florida?
Of course, let's go. And we just went. We went on an aeroplane, and when we were there, I think, oh, the police came in Disney.
What do you mean the police came in Disney?
Well, it seems that she hadn't told Dad that she was taking me, and he'd sent the police. And the police had found out that she'd taken a plane with me to Disney, and the police came. I don't know why. It was really horrible. My father, often. Dad was horrible.
Okay. And then what happened?
Well, the police said it was okay, because it was okay. But it's really scared me. And I thought it was horrible of him to do that for no reason.
But did your mother inform him or tell him you were going to Disney?
No. She just said it was a good idea, and she had the money, and it was her day with me, and she could do what she wanted. So we went to Disney, and it was great, except for the police.
And so your mother came from time to time?
It was so great. She was so fun. And then she would leave, and I would be stuck with Dad, who was really boring and no fun. And that's how it was. Well, after, when I was about to go to high school, Dad's mom died. And then we moved back to the village where we lived.
Oh, so you moved back to the main village where your mother lived?
Yeah.
And so you went to stay with your mother?
No, I never went to stay with Mom.
Never?
Never.
In holidays and things, you didn't go and stay with her when you were in the city?
No, it just didn't work that way.
So anyway, but when you went back to live in the same town, why didn't you go and live with her?
Well, you see, the high school was really close to where Grandma's house is, so that was why I stayed there.
So you never went and stayed with your mother after you left as a child?
No, why should I?
No reason. And you went to university?
Yeah, of course I did.
Because you had good grades?
Well, yeah, I worked hard.
Didn't you think that your father helped you get good grades?
I don't know. He made me work hard. I worked hard and I got good grades. So it was my work. That's what Mum said. Mum said that I deserved it because of the hard work I'd done.
And your father, there was no appreciation for what he did?
Why? He did it because it was good for him, and he saved money, and he was mean with me.
I said, okay. So I listened to this story, and I thought about this story. And then I said something that she didn't like. I said, I've listened to your story. I've listened to your interpretation of what happened. But my job is to listen to the facts and leave the interpretation to the side. Everybody has their own interpretations. My reading of your story is that your mother abandoned you and your father looked after you in an incredibly caring and appropriate way.
No way. No way. That wasn't how it was. That wasn't how it was at all.
Wasn't it? Your father took you because he was too mean to pay child maintenance. Have you any idea how much it cost to keep a child in the city? How much it cost to join a ranch? How much it cost every week to go riding? How much time he spent just watching you ride? It seems that other than work, he did nothing in his life other than look after you. No, he spent his time looking after you because he loves you. And your mother would come to see you from time to time. Yes, it didn't seem to be very often. And I believe that your teddy bear smells like your mother.
Well, I suppose it does. When I was a baby, I was in bed with her and the teddy bear. And Dad, but mostly with her and the teddy bear.
So your attachment to this smell is your attachment to your mother.
So that's not wrong, is it?
Well, generally we develop, we evolve, we move forward. And things that are important to us in the past become less important and we invest new things. And it seems to me that you cannot move forward because of this investment, this emotional investment in your mother, which has not evolved. And it's not evolved because it was blocked from you being a child.
I don't agree with that.
And she didn't. She didn't agree with that for months. And for months I kept hitting the same nail with the same hammer. She was abandoned by her mother, who didn't look after her when she was a child. She'd come in and go to work. She was never there in the mornings, although nobody works 7 days a week. She was never there in the evenings because she was too tired. She had no holidays that my patient could remember. So there's something drastically wrong there. But yes, there were times when she would come and visit, never take her home, would come and visit. And it would be wonderful. And I thought, well, there's something there. It's not for me to diagnose the mother at a distance, although I could. That's not my job. But my job is to get my patient to talk to her mother, to confront her. And one week she said,
Listen, Mr. Gedall, if I confront my mother now, who I now have a good relationship with, it might not work. She might be angry with me. She might reject me. And I couldn't cope with that.
And I said, look, I've done everything I can. The only thing I can think of is you talk to your mother about this. Talk to your mother about what I have said and ask her what she thinks about that. Maybe you could also talk to your father.
No way am I talking to that man ever again. No way. That's why I'm close to my mother now, because I don't talk to him.
But fine, talk to your mother. So eventually she took as they say, her courage in both hands, and she went to talk to another. So what happened? Well, sorry, that's about all time we have time for this week. Next Monday will be the conclusion of this story, of this case history, promise. So what happened with her mother? Was she accepted or rejected? Do we ever find out why her mother acted as she did. Will she ever speak to her father again? Will Meghan ever speak to her father again? Will Harry ever speak to his father again? What about her symptom? And what happens with the bear? So, tune in next week for answers to all these questions. Sorry, not those of Harry and Meghan. See you next Monday. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, do all the good things, and I'll see you next week. See ya, Gary.